Starting off my list is definitely going to be Little Bird, and the reason why this is so high on my list is because I really enjoy the art. I think the action scenes are great, the look of it's awesome, all that is wonderful, so it can't be in my top 5 worst, definitely not bad, but it's a huge disappointment because the storyline is just convoluted, religious, blah blah, metaphorical garbage. Just tell a straight story, guys. Sometimes it's the best effective way to give us something interesting. This is just not interesting at all, and what they try to do here doesn't really work storyline wise. The art's great, storyline is terrible, so this is one of the biggest disappointments for me this year. My next pick is Unnatural. The reason why this is on my list is because I actually enjoyed Volume 1 a lot. Volume 2 was okay, and Volume 3 was garbage. This is a series that went down in quality so quick and so fast, it took me by surprise. Now, of course, this series is kind of pushing on the sexual part of it, but honestly, the first one had a lot of great twists and turns in the storyline, and the art was great. The art consistently stays pretty good, but the rest of it just starts falling down into the garbage pitland of what the fuck story is this. I was really disappointed by the end of this series, and definitely deserves this number 9 spot, unfortunately. Coming in at number 8 is Die. Now, this is on a lot of people's best of the year, and I can see why. If you're a Dungeons & Dragons fan, I think this will shoot up really high, and I think other people can enjoy it too. Me, I thought the story was dreadfully boring. I was just, honestly, half falling asleep half the time. It took me 3 days to get through the first volume, and I just couldn't stand any of the characters. I think they're all bad. And also, my biggest thing is the art is mushy-wushy. It's like a painting, but it's hard to fucking follow. Die didn't work for me on any level, unfortunately. I hope some people enjoy it, but this was a huge disappointment after hearing how amazing it was. I didn't like it at all. Coming at number 7 is Justice League. Man, this series keeps landing on my disappointment list. Justice League is messy, it's convoluted, it's long-winded, it's exposition out the ass, and I love Snyder. I do. I really love his Black Mirror. I love his Batman run. I love his American Vampire. I think he's a very talented writer. I think he should not write epics. I thought Metal was messy, and this is just flat out bleh. The thing is, I don't think he's really fit for bigger scope stories, and that's fine because he writes great smaller stories. This, not worth it at all. Justice League is boring, and that's something I can't believe I'm saying. Justice League is boring. The greatest heroes in the fucking DC universe, and your story is boring. Probably one of my biggest disappointments at number 6 is Aquaman. I was really excited because I like Kelly Sue, and I think that this could be great, but I've only read the first arc and a half, and I was dreadfully boring. The art's pretty good, and the idea of where we're going with the series pretty decent, but everything else, the execution, not working for me. I was just sleepwalking my way through this, reading this volume. It's not working. I don't know why. Maybe I have to give it another chance, but this is a huge disappointment, especially with the talented writer and artist on this. Did not like it at all. Alright, here we go. So these 5 are pretty bad. Let's talk about Uncanny X-Men Disassembled. This ended at the beginning of the year, and we all have to thank Hickman for really giving X-Men its name back, because this had some of the greatest writers on it, and it sucked for the most part. It was messy. It was stupid. I'm going to be honest. This is stupid. Half the X-Men go missing, if not more. It doesn't really make any sense, if I'm going to be honest. None of it made sense. And then the ending was so bad. It led into Uncanny X-Men for Matthew Rosenberg's run, and I actually liked that run pretty decent, but this was garbage. What a terrible little event for the X-Men series to bring them all together, all the different X-Men series, and none of it worked. This is both a disappointment, and I also think it's pretty bad. Alright, here we go. Number 4. Whew. Superman Year One. What a pile of shit. Now, listen, Frank Miller's 50-50 for me. Some of his stuff I really enjoy. Some of his stuff I think is downright garbage. This is going to go in the downright garbage. The first volume or issue, whatever, it's Black Label, so they're bigger issues. It's not bad. I actually like book 1. It wasn't great, but it was good, interesting new ideas, sending Clark in the military. I like all that stuff. Then issue 2 comes along, and it's the most jumbled, fucking stupid story I've ever read. listen, it has Superman fucking a mermaid. I hate this fucking book. I couldn't even finish book 3. I'm going to even be honest. I think this is garbage, and it's really a big pile of shit because it's on Black Label. And let's talk about Black Label. It is great. It is better than most of the mainline DC right now with Harleen, The Last Night, and all these other series coming out that look great. But besides Dan, which is also really bad, this is just awful. Just skip this one altogether. Alright, Vindication. I don't really understand why this was made. It's like trying to duel like multiple stories at once and trying to talk about the political atmosphere and racism that we have now, but none of it works. None of it. It's absolutely awful. 2 years ago, I reviewed a very racist piece of shit comic, and this is pretty much up there with that, but the opposite spectrum. I don't know what it's trying to do, but it doesn't do anything very well. It's also, the dialogue is just awful, and the art, I mean, just go look at a couple of images. You're seeing a couple now. This is a pretty shitty-ass book. I'm going to be honest. Just forget about this book. All right, number 2 is Freeze. I hate this book. I really fucking hate this book because the idea and the premise, absolutely great. Everybody's actually had this probably in their head at one point where you could freeze. Everybody's frozen in time except you. And it's such a cool idea of like, how can you fix the world, or would you fix the world? There's so many opportunities to make this so interesting. And this story flounders every single one. There's nothing redeeming about this story. The art is atrocious by the end. The story doesn't do anything with its premise, and by the end you're questioning, why the fuck did the writer even write this, or why did he spend the funds on this? I absolutely hate this story, mostly because the premise is so great now, and it's kind of tarnished because nobody's going to do this again because they don't want to turn out like this piece of shit story. I freaking hate Freeze. It's horrible. Alright, here it is. You see that, Nightwing? Could you believe Nightwing is my #1 worst book of the year? I'm going to tell you why, because it's not Dick Grayson. It's Rick Grayson. Or not even Grayson, it's just Rick. Rick is the stupidest fucking idea DC has ever come up with. It's so goddamn dumb. He gets shot in the head. They could have done so many cool things with this. Instead, they give you this amnesia story where Rick, who's now a cab driver, and then starts a band of the night. I'm having a fucking seizure because I hate this story. It's stupid. The art's garbage. The action's garbage. Everything's garbage. Don't even read this. Let's hopefully wait till this fucking nightmare is over and Nightwing actually comes back, because this isn't my Nightwing. This isn't anyone's Nightwing. This is like the piss poor decision from upper DC to try something different, and it's not working on any level. Hopefully a series fucking burns in hell soon. And that's my top 10 worst list. I got a little angry at the end because these books are horrible to read at the end, and I really hate them. The first 4 aren't really that bad. They're just kind of and disappointing, but as we got further along, as you saw, my temper rose. These are some really bad fucking stories, and it sucks because some of them have really cool premises like Freeze, but it's still a piece of shit. So I would love to see your top 10 worst comics. Again, these are all subjective to your opinion of what you enjoy and what you don't enjoy, but these are my absolutely worst or most disappointing comics of 2019.